But on forests, those are very ambitious targets. Can you do it? It's very hard to tell from outside, but it's always such a controversial area, and everything seems to be contested. Somebody produces figures about deforestation, and then there's satellite and these images, and they say, oh no, it's not this, it's not that. And on the ground we hear stories of miners or cattle ranchers. Can you even control people? Is the government able to fulfill this ambitious target?
Yes, and we are on track of that. Even this year it was the lowest deforestation rate in 20 years since we are monitoring deforestation. So we are doing that anyway, because it's not only because of climate. There is a lot of other benefits from keeping the forest. For example, hydro resources is very important for us, since we use hydro resources both for electric generation and also for agriculture, biodiversity. So there is enormous willing to keep the forest from the country perspective, the national perspective, in terms of economics. What we are doing is not only to strengthen the fiscalization and inspection, but also changing the economy in that area. Because what is important to do is not just forbidding people to enter in the forest just for conservation, but having there another way of development, economy of the forest, using the material from the forest without the need of cutting it, using other products from the forest, industrializing the products from the forest, so that people that are living there can have their income. And can produce and live from the forest without cutting it. So this is the most important thing to do, because you can increase the inspection a lot, but it won't never be enough while it is worthwhile to cut the forest. If in the economic point of view it's interest to cut the forest, inspection won't be enough. So what we need to do is giving another way of thinking in terms of the economy of the forest.
Is this politically difficult, or do many Brazilians think, well, this is our national treasure, it's our resource, just as Poland had coal and Saudi Arabia has oil? Why shouldn't we be left alone to do what we want with it? Why is the world always trying to tell Brazil what to do with its forest? Is that a problem?
No, regarding Amazon, I think that I think it used to be, but the awareness of the importance of the forest for the whole country or for the whole planet it's very nowadays. I think it's very clear for all of us. I think that this problem could appear in Cerrado or the Savannah, because that part of the country is where the agriculture is increasing. So our concern should be trying to keep Cerrado there, because it's exactly the place, it's in the middle of the country where we have our increase on agriculture industry. But since we can increase the productivity, you don't need more area to expand.
Okay, I think Jeffrey's got another response.
Yeah, one of our viewers wants to know if the Amazon will be preserved in its natural state or if it's going to be replaced by tree plantations.
No. That's not the idea. It's to be to keep the biome in its integrity. We want to conserve, not to replace by other species.
I definitely want to ask you about biofuel, because that's another thing Brazil is famous for. But we'd also like to know, what is the story on RED, on the forest component of these negotiations? We're only a day or so to go. So can you tell us from the inside what is happening? Have we got an agreement, or are we close to an agreement? And if not, what needs to be done?
Well, regarding RED, I think the text that is out there is very good. We reached a consensus, which is amazing, considering all those countries together. So there is one another issues to be solved that are yet to be solved. Mainly three important issues about the national level and subnational level, about safeguards, and this is something that it could be easily solved.
Sorry, can you just to be clear about this, when you say national, you mean how much who is in control, or how much? When you say national and regional, what's the issue there that's not resolved?
Well, the thing is that we think that the approach should be national. Only in certain very special situations could be subnational, because only considering the national way you can assure that there won't be leakages of the emissions, so and it will be easier to monitor. So this is the approach that we are aiming to have in the text. The safeguards is important, how to monitor the safeguards, and the third important issue is that RED has to do with forests, not with land use or other purpose, only forests that we are dealing with. So these are more or less well solved. The problem is that without the whole package, we don't have where to include the RED text. So we are waiting to have the body of the deal to include, because the RED is it's okay for us.
Nothing is agreed till everything agreed is the mantra here. And sorry, I just want to clarify these points, because not all of us follow every detail of every aspect of these complicated negotiations. Okay, but we've got you as a spokesperson. So when you say safeguards, is that safeguards about the money, or, does it get to the people who need it, or do you mean safeguards in terms of how the money is actually spent, or the forest areas that are dealt with?
Yeah, the safeguards is more related to other issues such as biodiversity, such as people, indigenous people. So it's not only about carbon. That's what I mean.
Yes. Okay. Another response.
Yeah, another one of our viewers wants to talk about how Brazil is developing, because Brazil is developing so rapidly, and he points out that using concrete, it causes a lot of CO2 emissions and uses a lot of water as well. So is Brazil looking at alternative construction materials or doing other creative things like that to develop in a more environmentally friendly way?
Yes, we have a concern about green buildings and things like that. So this is another sector which is growing fast in the country. It's exactly new materials to constructions. But I think that, of course, we are not telling that in the absolute terms we are reducing our emissions, because a developing country which is growing, still growing, will increase their emissions probably. But what we are saying that we are aiming to reduce is the expectation of this growth. So we want to decouple the curve of our growth to the curve of our emissions.
And just going back to what you were saying about the agreement on forest is quite close, but you don't know where it's going to fit in the package. It's so hard to follow this very complex process. I mean, what is it? How do you have to do the whole package and then you find a spot? What is it you're really waiting for? Is it the emissions and money? Are they the big things, and once you've got that, then everything else fits in? Or what is it that is holding up, slotting in forests and other issues?
Yeah, because this text that I'm saying that is very well done, it's what we call a decision of the COP of here. So this decision about what is RED, it's exactly what I said. It's okay. It's a good text. But this decision is linked to other part of the text, the main text. So the main text makes this reference. So if RED is a NAMA, for example, a national action, then this will make a reference to a specific kind of NAMA, which is RED. And then this reference, this decision. The decision, what is red, is done. But if red is a number, where is number, and everything is inside the big package.